difficult. And there's a cheeky little hill just before the finish. You can't see it, it's just around the corner. And that was really tough. And I might have walked just a tiny bit of that. But, but no, it was really good fun.
Laurie Mailer on his way to the finish line. He's had a pretty solid run, 4 kilometres the distance for the final event for his age group. And that's after an 8-kilometre bike ride and a 300-metre swim. And he's going to be just over an hour and 2 minutes. 1 hour, 2 minutes, 14 seconds. And that puts him 25th out of 200 in his wave.
The cycle was very bumpy and off-road, so I don't think I did very well in that, but the run was strong, so I'm fine.
Laurie's sister Elise just finishing her run, number 557, and 2 kilometres of running completed.
How did it go?
It went all right, yeah. The swim was way better than I thought it would be.
And Mum, how proud are you to watch her race the whole swim?
She's fantastic. Well done.
Well, Mum's got to do her work tomorrow. She's entered for the Gauntlet event, a half-iron distance, while husband Harvey is entered into the Olympic distance. Enya Mailer, a good, strong sprint finish from her. Fantastic effort. And Maria, the youngest of the 4. There'll be plenty more triathlons for her. Well, if you ever had any doubt as to the legacy of the Olympics, Hever Castle would convince you that it was a good thing, because there's no doubt that most of these kids are here because of what they saw at London 2012.
Who do you two think you could be the next?
Brownlee brothers.
Is that something you two want to do?
We'd like to. I don't think we could do it quite yet.
Their time might come.
So hundreds of children have managed to tame the castle course, which means it's almost time for the mums and dads to take their turn with the longer races. Also warming up in the wings, we've got Fraser Cartmel and David McNamee ready to go in the Gauntlet, and we've got the two-nation head-to-head between Great Britain and France. All that to come after the break. Welcome back to Kent for the Markel Castle Triathlon. We've already had one day of action with sprint distance, relays, and even the children showing what they can do. But now it's time to turn our attention to the Gauntlet and the elites. Let's join our race commentator Patrick Winterton and find out who intends to take centre stage.
Well, the Scottish will certainly have high hopes of success in the Gauntlet race. The distances you can see for yourselves. It's the half-iron distance, just under 2 kilometres in the water before they have a 90-kilometre bike ride and finish it off with a half-marathon run. That's exactly 21 kilometres. Hever Lake, once again, the venue for the swim. And this is certainly somewhere where David McNamee might be able to take advantage over the rest of the field. He's a brilliant young triathlete, number 13 in the world rankings at the moment, but stepping up to this half-iron distance. He's more used to the Olympic distance. We'll see how he gets on today.
As an athlete, you always have to look for new avenues, and sort of I very much think sort of in 2 or 3 years' time that I'd like to step up and sort of see how I go up against the best guys in the world over sort of this distance.
Well, one man who's certainly proven over the longer distance is Fraser Cartmel, also from Scotland. He's won Ironman UK. He's also won Ironman UK 70.3.
To be honest, I fell upon the series by chance really in July and did Castle Howard and absolutely loved the event, the venue, everything about the race was just superb. Did Chantilly in France the month after and then thought, well, absolutely should come and do Hever, which is the marquee event.
Now, one man who's certainly not expecting to win, but will be looking for a good performance is Barnaby Gray, the Director of Sports at Highfield School.
Well, I suppose having 17 children doing yesterday, you know, one had to show that one could try and do it oneself, so I thought I'd go for the long one today and see how we get on.
Are they all going to be here today supporting you?
We've got some who camped last night and some who went home for a nice hot bath, I think, but we've got a fair few here today, so we're good.
Well, I'm sure Barnaby Gray will have plenty of supporters while he's out on the roads and on his bike. 1.9 kilometres of swimming to complete before he can think of that. The athletes are set at the start. having entered the water from the loggia. And away they go, and already those in the middle of the field seem to have stolen a march on those on the outside, and there's no doubt that Cartmel and McNamee will be amongst the leaders in the early stages. Both very, very good swimmers indeed. Well, I think that's David McNamee, you can see on the near side with the red shoulders on his wetsuit. Good start from him. He's found clean water and starting to string the field out already. Those at the front travelling easily twice as fast as those at the back. Now when they've completed the loop in the lake, they head into the river section.
After 600-700 metres it gets very narrow, so ideally there won't be many people around me by that point. So when it becomes technical I don't have to worry about it.
Well, there is David McNamee. He's got the lead, but he also has company in Fraser Cartmel, perhaps the one man that he wouldn't want on his toes.
It'll be interesting because these guys swim fast. And I like to think I'm a good swimmer, but as I'm getting older, the swim's not quite as quick as it used to be, so I have to try and keep up the swim. You know, my bike and my experience over this distance, I hope, will be my plus and my strong point.
McNamee pushing the pace in the closing stages of the swim, and he's the first out of the water. An excellent start from him. Fraser Cartmel, he's done well to hang on, but that was always the plan. No surprise to see Carol Bridge leading the women's race after her win at Chantilly.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a good season this year and I've been racing pretty well, so I guess I was hoping to win or hoping to do well, but it's always nice, always a surprise to win, isn't it? You can never guarantee a win.
Well, it's a great shot from the sky. Those in transition will not be thinking of their surroundings. Good transition from Fraser Cartmel. Andrew Hood's had an excellent swim as well, got himself in a competitive position. And Scotland now 1, 2 and 3 in the men's event. Wales leading the women's with Carol Bridge, and England's Linda Evans coming in to transition as Bridge leaves. Linda Evans, 23-year-old, coached now by Harry Wiltshire. I should think Harry will be happy with her swim today. David McNamee leading the three Scots, and he has pole position at the moment as he settles into the early stages, but not for long. Fraser Cartmel goes through like he's doing the sprint event. It's early stages, but the race is on.
The Castle Triathlon series isn't just the reserve of British and Irish aristocracy. They're also getting involved over in France at a magnificently named race at Château de Chantilly. All of the historic locations come from an era of conflict between such nations, but this event has another chapter in the cross-channel rivalry, one which is adding a touch of joie de vivre to the whole weekend.
Now, the international challenge is between Britain and France. Each team has 4 members taking part in the Olympic distance race. 3 men, 1 woman in each team, and their position they finish in counts as that many points. So if you finish second, you pick up 2 points, and the idea is to finish with the team with the least number of points, just like in cross-country running or indeed in sailing. The French team are full of stars. Cyril Vignot, very accomplished indeed, but perhaps the biggest name is Delphine Pelletier, former Olympian from 2004. The British team made up of David Bishop, Beau Smith, Sam Wade and Vicky Johnston. Now, these 2 teams have raced before and the British came out on top at Château Chantilly. Will it be the same again today? Victor Debilco of France with the mic introducing his team. Tony Bahul, Vignot and of course Pelletier we've mentioned. The British team looking a little bit nervous. I think they know there's a lot of hard work to be done. The swim could be absolutely crucial, and Beau Smith is certainly one of the best swimmers in the field. Expect to see him leading in the early stages. David Bishop will certainly be hoping to be the first Brit home.
I've been here now 3 years, so I wouldn't manage to win the last 2 years, so I'm really looking forward to racing. It's a beautiful place and there's some good competition, so I'm looking forward to. I've got a loyalty to these races. I love them, and I just really enjoy doing this race particularly. The normality of racing is you turn up to a race, you go home. Here there's a bit more of a festival, and I just really enjoyed that part of it.
Bo Smith making his mark early on in the swim.
Hopefully I can help us on our way to beating the French. That's what counts, I think, this weekend.
Bo Smith certainly doing his part in the early stages. Vicky Johnston has a really important role for the British team, and her familiarity with the course may pay off.
It's tough. It's not the toughest in the series. I did Castle Howard and that was hard. But no, it's a good testing course. I think we've got a good chance at winning.
Well, the more men that Vicky Johnston can beat, the better. And the more points, or the less points, she'll score for the British team, which is crucial. Catherine Jameson, the leading woman at the moment, who's not part of the International Challenge, and Bo Smith, the first man out of the water, as expected. Another flyer from him, followed by David Bishop, who's only given away a few seconds. So Bo Smith trying to capitalise on an excellent swim. 19 minutes, 14 seconds for the 1500 metre swim. That is really good going, and he should be able to hold the lead on the bike for a while after that good work. Great start from the British team, certainly stealing an advantage over the French in the early stages, 32 to 36. And that's with all 4 of the international team members out of the water. Jameson, the leading lady, out of the water and ahead of the French team, who are entering the transition area together, working as a team for success.
We want to have the victory because in Chantilly we lose because Delphine was sick, and now we want to win.
Delphine looking fit and healthy and motivated today.
Yeah, it's my last race for my career, and I choose to do my last race here in England. I think I have made my best, and now I have to work. I have no regrets, so I think I'm really lucky to have had a so long career, and now I want to pass some time with my little child.
So Delphine Pelletier coming to the end of her career, Bo Smith very much at the start of his.
I've only raced 2 non-drafting races this year. I won both of them. I won the British University Sprint at the start of the year and Bala in North Wales a couple of weeks back.
Well, he's going to have to go some to win today because there are a lot of talented riders behind him. The French team working together as they did in the water, pushing the limits of non-drafting. David Bishop, who's been overtaken by Viernot and Debelco, and now finds himself in 4th position. And the 2 Frenchmen closing down on Bo Smith, and closing down very fast indeed. Cyril Viernot, the man doing the donkey work at the front, and a man who's finished in the top 20 at Kona before. Now that really does change the scores in the International Challenge, with France going into the lead, 21 to 30. The British with work to do before they head back to Hever and the run.
This part of the castle is where Anne Boleyn, second wife to Henry VIII, used to enjoy walking, and it's not hard to see why. The Tudor, Italian and Rose Gardens are a major part of Hever's tourist attraction. But with the Gauntlet and Olympic distance races still in progress, there's not much time for the triathletes to stop and smell the flowers. For them, it's all about the finish, so join us after the break for the big climax. Welcome back to the Hever Castle Triathlon in Kent. This is the last in a series of races that has graced the grandest estates in Europe. This two-day sporting festival has already seen hundreds of youngsters competing in the world's biggest children's triathlon. Mums and dads have been getting in on the action as well, competing across a range of triathlon distances. And we've been focusing on those at the sharp end, two sets of elites competing in simply stunning surroundings. We're very close to the climax of the action, so let's get straight back out on the course.
Well, it's all change in the long-distance Gauntlet event. Carl Alexander is the new leader. He's taken his opportunity after McNamee and Cartmel have accidentally been directed down the wrong route. And that could prove very costly indeed. They've certainly lost a few minutes in the process. Carol Bridge, the leading lady, after an excellent swim.
Carol, how's it going?
These hills are quite hard, even though I'm from the Rhondda.
What's your plan now?
Oh, keep pushing hard on the bike, and then whatever I got left for the run.
Medical student Linda Evans in second place in the women's event, just 2.5 minutes down on Bridge at this stage.
What's your plan now?
Just ride as hard as I can for as long as I can. Eat as much as I can. Got the last bar.
Cara Mailer, who had the pleasure of watching her 4 kids racing yesterday, now going for the Gauntlet herself.
So far so good, thank you. Lots of hills, very beautiful. No rain, hallelujah.
How do you feel coming out of the swim?
Great. It's a bit of a bun fight, but fine. I like to swim. Right, I'm going to put my head down now. See you later.
The leading men in the Gauntlet race already through T2. Here comes David McNamee. Now he's down, well, he's inside the top 10 by my calculation, but he's third.